Welcome everyone to our series titled Code Story. I have designed a series which covers story from my life with an intention to assist you with my experiences and lessons learned. The title of our today's story is A Glamorous Role, a role which I was driven to on account of whim and short-sightedness. Many years ago, I was offered an opportunity, a role which was way too powerful. I would say glamorous because it involved foreign travel, a lot of perks, benefits, and something that I always wanted. And without knowing why I want it. So I want you to pay attention to this fact that when I came across a role which had no relevance to my current work that I was doing, but was part of the same function, it was actually a new role crafted and designed for a particular team which was about to launch a special project. So I took it up, not for the relevance, but for the glamour it offered, the perks, the benefits, and something that you always wanted to do, but you don't really exactly understand why. So without having any view of how this role would fit into my total career trajectory, will it really bring in the relevance that I seek? How will it add to my learning? Like any other short-sighted human being, I simply went ahead and grabbed this role. One of the most important, I would say, blind spot that I held at that point in time was a lack of perspective of how this role really fit into my long-term career trajectory. Will it really add up to the relevance of what I was doing? Because so far, at that given point, I had completed a good time experience and tenure in the corporate world. And for a person like me, it was very important that if I were to aim for mastery or expertise or to be positioning myself as an authority in a particular segment, I had to gain that expertise, which comes with the depth of an experience and not with just fancy titles and roles. But I was more driven towards those fancy titles which had no authority, no responsibility. It was a glorified admin work under the garb of a very, very fancy title and international tags to it. And therefore, I was just drawn to it. And in my excitement and attraction, I simply went ahead and grabbed it. Now, as a result of this, there was actually a time in my life where I felt very lost in my career. One of the main reasons for that was me choosing this role and also doing it for good 3 years. And 3 years is not a small time period. And when you come out of it, or maybe perhaps want to move ahead, it actually brought me to a position where I didn't really know where exactly I was headed. This was one of the most toughest phase of my life, but I would also like to take this opportunity to share my or express my heartfelt gratitude towards my mentor and coach who helped me. So I was not stuck in this position for a very long time. But one of the three key lessons that I learned from this overexcitement and being short-sighted and going with the fancy titles were these. Friends, if you come across such titles and roles, I would not say not to explore or not to look for it. If it really engages you and it's part of your inner calling, you can actually shift even your career. But before you do any of that, understand that your entire career trajectory is a track, and if you want to look over many years later in a given position and role of an expert, of a leader, then it's important that you understand what you're choosing today, how this role will play into to the long-term career plan that you hold. Always think long-term. Seek perspective. Usually when we are inexperienced and not really a beginner, but also not very, very experienced, seasoned professional, we're somewhere in the middle struggling. I think one of the best things that we can do to our own self, to our life, and to our career is to always have a mentor or a coach through whom we can validate our thoughts, seek counsel, and also perspective. And it may open up a lot of insights of the blunders that we may be about to commit. I found help through my coach, and I would urge you all also to seek a coach if you think you are somewhere here, just like me, struggling because of your short-sightedness. Finally, always, any decision that you take, be it related to your career or your life, make sure you spend good time to understand the long-term consequence of the decision that you make in today. This is very something very common, but we often overlook and forget because we think our life are not a business or a policy that we would look 5 years down the line or 10 years, but just a simple moment of silence and reflection onto the long-term consequence may open up a lot of insights for your own self, for exactly what you wanted to do and what you want the future to find for you. You never know, you may even find answers to something that you were looking for since ages, because this particular thing my coach taught me and it helped me a lot. So I would just also urge you to try these, make a note of these lessons, and hopefully, if you are in a similar situation, you would look for it. Well, thank you, friends. Thank you for your time and watching the series till the end. I'll come back to you with another episode in another series. Till then, have a good time ahead, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.